My friends, this is Mr. Lou Martin, and I am excited, grateful, humbled, and extremely inspired to introduce to you a wonderful colleague and soul sister on the path who is working the magic every day of her life, as far as I can tell. My new buddy, Nikki, Sophia, Jade, King. Hi. Hey there.
Pleasure to be here, really.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
As I said, like a moth to a flame, I couldn't do anything else. I'm delighted to chat with you. So Nikki, let me give you a little space here so you can introduce yourself to my little audience in the world one more time.
My pleasure. What do I want to share? Just, just a sense of real. Actually, before we dive in,
yes, can
I just invite everybody who's listening,
sure,
to take 3 deep breaths. And the way I like to feel this is 1 deep breath to let go of the past.
Mm-hmm.
The second, to let go of the future.
Mm.
And the third, to really ground us into this present moment, so that whatever wishes to be present, whatever energies, whatever conversation, whatever magic, whatever alchemy wants to happen, it's coming directly from this moment.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Sure, honey. Thank you.
I think that's where I always start from. I'm, on one level, I find myself quite hard to talk about because I'm I love just being in the flow and allowing magic to happen. And I tend to, whenever I hold space or I'm in session or, even just every day in my own life, I just show up. It's the only way I know. If I try and orchestrate or think or, think through what I'm going to say, or I get caught in my own, thoughts. So I'm all about, let's just be present and just allow whatever wants to.
Beautiful.
Shared to be shared.
Yes. Brilliant. Well, that is, to me, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I mean, we were chatting here a minute, just for a few moments before we started to record here. And so I just I'll give my little introduction of you, if I may.
You may.
Thank you. I thought you wouldn't object. Thank you. So Nikki is obviously this beautiful woman, and she shares pictures of herself in nature in these stunning dresses and frocks and costumes that are quite otherworldly and ethereal to my mind. And she's channeling the goddess through her beauty and through what she shares with us in terms of her imagery and how she presents herself to the world. But also then, wait, there's more. She is a fountain of wisdom and inspiration and truth and depth of understanding. And she is just delivering the message from the universe, channeling poetry, that just really rocks my world every time I read it. And I'm like, yeah, this is really good. This is brilliant. So I just wanted to get all that off my chest. Yes, good, lovely, wonderful. Thank you. Yes, good. Yes. So, I mean, can I ask you then, hon, about your childhood? I mean, that's, how you found your way into expressing yourself in this deep and authentic way, and how that evolved for you over your life?
You can. So from a very, very, very early age, I'd say sort of two to three.
Wow.
I was an incredibly shy child.
Okay.
incredibly shy, and I think what I found myself doing from a very early age was observing, because I couldn't put myself into peer groups, or I found myself observing life, observing people, and when I feel into it now, what I sense I was doing was actually feeling the energy. And and for the most part, up until probably my 30s, the world never felt particularly safe.
Sure.
And I think, as when you're empathic, when you're sensitive, and I think when you read energy, I didn't know what I was doing. Don't get me wrong, I had no idea what I was
Sure.
doing. But,
Oh yeah.
Feel back into it. It's just okay. This is where this has come from, and it's it's one of my greatest loves now. Is just holding space, and allowing, because it feels like the most natural thing in the world, and I've been doing that ever since I can remember.
Yeah.
As far as the writing, I think that also came out of being incredibly shy, because I wasn't able to vocalize, I wasn't able to voice. So I started writing, and I think I had my first poem published when I was 15.
Wow. Brilliant.
And that's always been that's been, it is the way I channel.
Yeah.
I write something and I read it back, and funnily enough, somebody sent me something I'd written recently.
Right.
I read it and I went, wow, who wrote that? And then I went, oh,
this is good.
That's mine. This is really good.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
I need this wisdom. I need this.
Oh, now you're singing my song. If I could only live what I channel, it would be a much easier story. But that is the challenge. Yes.
Yeah, really.
Sure. That's the goal, of course, to integrate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, carry on. You're doing great. So, I mean, did you grow up in a normal-ish kind of family? Did they think you were weird, crazy, etc.? Are you the black sheep, like I am? What's your story?
People do.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, very, very normal. In the sense of, and actually, as far as I'm aware, there's no one in my family that has been on this path.
Right.
So,
sure.
That has had its challenges.
Sure.
But I'm also aware, of the beauty of being born into a family like that, because I suppose for me, I've really learned a sense of humility, and recognizing we're all beings of light, just doing our thing in different ways.
Yeah.
When you're not brought up in a very psychic, or where you're known that you've got witches in the family, or whatever it might be, I think there is for me, it's definitely given me this sense of just accepting every single person where they're at, and not wanting to try and change anybody, or wanting to we're all having our own experience, and choosing that.
Sure. That's right. So do you do workshops when life is normal? Do you do readings?
So what's sort of happened for me over the last 18 months, actually, during this time, is I've really gone on an inner journey into, okay, so what do I really want? Because I think, I went through, training as a coach, psychotherapist, energy modalities, etc.
I see.
Where I've come to in myself is I've got a lot of skills and can do a lot. But what I've spent the last year going is, okay, but what do I really want to do?
Yeah.
What do I really want to do for me?
Yeah.
And what I've come to is what we were talking about before we came on air, was this idea of beauty, and the sense that beauty for me was here before. It was here at the beginning of time. of,
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
of creation, and that out of beauty we can experience love.
Sure.
And so my want now is to create beautiful things in order to carry that energy, that people can have an experience of the energy of it, of the vibration of it, to remind them of their own beauty, that it's constantly reflected back.
Yeah. To open the heart. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Which you talk about and write about, quite beautifully. And hun, that was great. And so one of the things you've been doing is your Sophia Jade essences, which I thought, these are like oils or something like this. No, there are these like guided meditations, aren't they?
They're actually so what happened was back in 2015, I was on a coaching call being coached, and we were talking about my work at the time, which was predominantly with women and empowerment, and we both just suddenly went quiet on the call, and she said, "You're going to make a range of essences," and I said, "Yeah, I am." First I knew of it.
Okay.
She said, "Okay." She said, "Well, your homework is to create an essence to help me get pregnant." And I said, "Okay." You hear yourself and you're thinking,
Okay.
So I came off the call and it was one of those, what just happened? What just happened?
Right.
Sat down at the kitchen table the following day and thought, okay, well, I know I need to write an intention for this. So again, it sort of brought in the words and my love of words and the energy that's behind words and incantations, spells.
Yeah.
And sat down to write one intention and 8 came through.
Wow.
Okay, so we are making a range of essences.
Okay.
So what has, and as with all of these things, I was thinking, right, I'm going to be ready to launch in 6 months. True Aries style.
Okay. Yes.
And of course, all of these things take time, because as I realize, it's like I have to embody it before I can bring it out into the world.
Sure.
So what they actually are they're going to be, and this is the pre-production bit.
I see.
Natural perfumes.
Okay.
With a written intention.
Right.
So each one carries a very distinct vibration.
Yeah.
And what I've come to recognize over the last 6 months is that they're actually the journey of the Hieros Gamos. So they are the journey of the sacred marriage of masculine and feminine inside.
Yes.
And soul to body.
Yes.
So what they do is they take you on this journey, which is where the blessings came from that I've shared this week.
Right.
Is that they take you on the journey of aligning and coming into full embodiment.
Brilliant.
Of your masculine and feminine.
That's all.
Yes. Yeah. No big shakes.
No. It's a pity you're not ambitious at all. Yes, that's pretty stunning. That's pretty amazing, Bless you. So to come back to your coaching call and the woman that wanted to get pregnant, how's all that going?
I haven't spoken to her.
Okay. All right. I'm just being Virgo now, you see. So yeah. Okay. Good. Well, yes, I'm looking forward to what's next. Nikki, what I tuned into, the one was about receiving with the left hand, and I did that, and I visualized that, and I absolutely had a lovely, divine feminine energy come for a little visit during that experience. Yeah, which was a joy. So, I'm over here cheering you on, my friend. Keep on keeping on.
It's wonderful to hear, because of course you don't know what experiences people are having and whether they're engaging, and so yeah, it's very beautiful to hear. Thank you.
Sure, honey. Sure. So aside from that focus, which is ongoing, do you see people one-on-one? Do you do workshops? Do you do things online?
I'm not currently.
Okay. Okay.
I have done, and you know, it's still there floating around in the, you know, in the ethers.
Right. Right.
I do sessions if people ask with Aragorn.
Okay.
So
your spirit guide, your horse friend.
my horse, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
What I've experienced with him. I used to do sessions with him in person, and actually realized that it was almost too powerful. Not too powerful, but actually because he's a physical being, when when he does his healing, which he does, he uses his physical being.
Sure,
so,
sure.
You know, and that can be quite intimidating for people if you're not used to being around horses and this, you know, very strong masculine presence. So
yeah,
I took those sessions online.
How do you do that? How do you work with Aragon online?
Yeah, it's very, very beautiful, because essentially what happens, and you know, it ties in with the essences as well, because again, it feels like the balance of the feminine and the masculine energy that hold the space for the other person. And I can feel the energy now, and he acts like a portal. That's the only way I can describe it. It's
sure.
like he takes you into other realms, if that's where you feel meant to go. But it's like he just, I see it as it's like the Holy Trinity. So
right.
It's the masculine and the feminine that creates this third entity of energy that allows the other person to have whatever experience it is that you know they're meant to have.
Wow. Wow.
And of course, you know, the one beauty of working with horses is they are so, I don't know any other animal that's like this, in the sense they're so heart-centered. You know, their energy fields are extraordinary.
Yeah.
So yeah, and those sessions can be absolutely, really profound.
Sure. Can you share the story you shared with me about how he first connected with you? What happened physically?
Yes, so it was a friend of mine introduced me to him, and he said to me, he said, I know you have to meet this being. And so he took me on this walk, and what I understood previously was that this horse it was basically been left in this field, and what I found out afterwards, that he'd been in this field for 18 years on his own, never had any interaction, nothing. So still a stallion.
Right.
And the moment I met him, I literally fell to my knees and my heart just burst open.
Wow.
It was just this profound, and I know he felt it too. And there's, you know, because when I met him, he was incredibly shut down, energetically, emotionally. You know, that was his coping mechanism, was just to, especially for such a feeling being. You know, he'd had, like many of us, he'd had to, you know, close himself down, and there was just this. Just this incredible connection, and I knew in that moment that he was going to be coming home with me. I didn't know how, and and you know, it was that classic, you've got to let go of the how, because it makes no sense. I wasn't in the market for a horse, you know.
Right.
And then 6 months later, he was with me. And of course, you know, my journey with him has been, again, like the essences, has been all about this divine masculine coming into my life and showing me, you know, we've kind of been on this journey of stepping up with each other, you know, and opening up more and more, and sharing those sort of divine energies with each other.
So how long have the two of you been together?
So we've been together now 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the best stories I ever heard in my life. I have to tell you, that's a weeper right there, boy. That's incredible. Beautiful.
That's when you know life is kind of sending you on a certain path, and you know, as much as you have choice, you kind of go, I'm not sure I have much choice in this.
Well, they make you an offer you can't refuse, as we say, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Brilliant. Love at first sight. It's hard to top that, my friends, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. But that you are working with your beautiful friend here in this very mystical, powerful way, and helping people heal their own stuff with the two of you working together. Boy, that's out there. That is really out there. That's amazing. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, I'm thrilled. I had no idea about all that. So that's incredible. And of course, Aragon, we were saying before, of course, is the king,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's also that sense of because he didn't have a name. That was the other
Yeah.
thing. You know, he'd
Yeah.
never been given a name. And I think, you know, Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings is very much that sort of character of, you know, slightly reluctant king, you know.
Right.
And it was
Sure.
the same. It was the same with Aragorn. It's like he had to come into his body and his magnificence and his majesty again. You
Yeah.
know, like all of us.
Yeah.
You know, he's had to ever so gently, you know, come back into that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
with your love and support, my friend, clearly, you know.
Well, we've definitely been in it together. That's for
I'm
sure.
sure that's true. I'm sure that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heroes Gamos, divine marriage. You know, I mean, that's a profound thing right now in our life at this moment. You know, so I mean, I've been doing channeling and sessions with people for over 30 years, and most of my clients are women, of course, because it's mostly women that are aware of what's happening in this regard. But I'm starting to see more conscious men now, you know, which is very exciting. But yeah, I feel like it's for all of us, it is the divine feminine that, as you were saying about the primordial, that's just my word for it, you know, beauty that is at the heart of all creation, you know, that desire happens and then creation bursts forth from that. And then we have the ability to appreciate that and to love that, you know, is kind of the way I see the dance. But certainly, you know, in this lifetime, it is for the women and the divine feminine, all of us that honor and channel that and respect that and revere those energies and that deep, powerful consciousness that's the source of all life everywhere. That's all, you know, coming back into divine balance now. So that's just very exciting.
Beautiful. Yeah.
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 Mercy. Okay, well, let me put you on the spot, my new friend here. Would you read a few of your lovely poems?
Sure.
Do we ask you for that?
Yeah.
All right. See, I haven't had that joy yet. I've read your work, but I've not. You see, so I'm treating myself here, Nikki.
So, would you like to pick a number between 1 and 128?
Well, I'm going to say 13 because that happens to be my special number. We can take it from there. What?
My own undoing. Take me into the beast of the furnace. Roll me around in the dirt and the dust. Let me claw and spit and spew. Watch me writhe and scream into my own unraveling. Spare me not a moment of the flames that engulf the very sense of who I am. Do not yield to my cries of pain or the agony of my own mind. Let this fire ravage every last vestige of what I thought I knew. Leave me bleeding, raw and empty, a vessel of my own undoing. And when, and only when, this body has burnt itself to the ground, and the ashes of all that once was are but a distant memory, then quench my thirst with your spirit. Drown me in the rivers of absolution, for I have no more strength to fight, nor claim a right to my own unfolding, and can but simply flow in stillness of a heart laid to rest upon the waking of a new dawning.
Dear God.
Well, if that doesn't speak to our times, I don't know does.
Well, I couldn't tell you all the ways I could personally relate to that, but that's very, very powerful. Yeah. Would you pick another one or two for us?
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, great. I'm, good. I'll just sit back.
You do that. And actually, one of the things that sort of really comes to me reading that is this sense of not knowing.
Yeah.
And I think it's, for me right now, it feels so profoundly important to sit in a space of not knowing.
Sure, honey. Sure.
That for me is the balance between the polarity and the separation of what's taking place. It's like, can we actually let go of everything that we ever thought we knew, everything that we ever thought the world was going to be, is transforming into? It's like, can we let go of all of that and simply come into a space of, I don't know.
Yeah.
And allow the mystery to unfold through all of us.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm so glad you said that. I mean, I think of Van Morrison's song, Let Go Into the Mystery, where he says exactly that same thing. And I'm so happy you brought that up, because, I mean, Virgos and people born on Friday the 13th, which is, you're looking at them, we can do the martyr thing real good, believe me. We can suffer in silence like nobody's business. But on the other side of that really truly is rebirth and true wisdom, not pretending to know or acting like I know, but actually knowing, and it also brings to mind the Impossible Dream song from the Man of La Mancha, which has been a theme song for me in my life as well. So all that's my stuff. But then what you just touched on, Nikki, is this is also why I was just so driven to connect with you, and so thrilled to do it. There are very few people that do understand what is happening in the world right now, and it can be intimidating, terrifying, overwhelming, and exciting, liberating, and exhilarating, all of that. And darling, when you're talking about Aragon and, falling to your knees and your heart bursting open, I mean, that's my goal every day. I want to let go into the mystery here. And so, yeah, the way my guides put it is, we have a foot in each world, that we're really kind of from the future. And we know that there is one, and it's a beautiful one. But to translate that, as writers and poets and singers of songs and all these things, channels, is very, very humbling, as you're saying. And so that to me is true empowerment. On the other side of our shaman's death, is true wisdom and true courage. So I just wanted to say all that to you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, honey. Sure. It's a small club, Nikki.
It is.
It's growing, but it's at the moment, not all of us understand what's happening. You see.
No, and I think this is one of the things that we shared with each other before was, I'm aware that my tribe, for want of a better expression, feel like they're dotted around the world, and that feels important because and I always see it like a matrix of light of and we're holding this idea of one foot in two worlds, and holding this jigsaw of all the lights coming together, and doing whatever we're doing.
We're standing in the field of all possibilities and keeping our hearts open and listening, as you said, Beautiful. Whee! Give us another one, please, at least.
Holy matrimony. Dive into the depths with me of the ocean of our potential, to lose ourselves to blissful union, laying down all that came before us, to remind of the palpable source of the eternal self, where sacred wedded intention can arise from all our choices, to simply arrest in this moment of the vines of our energy, intertwining into a rapturous and ecstatic remembering of souls, uniting in trust and pleasure of the universal mind that seeks to know itself in tangible and emotive form. Through these vessels, and long may we surrender into the unknown void of possibility and awaken every cell from its slumber and resistance to swim no longer in the shallows of fear, but to rise again and again to the climax of explosive and cellular restructure as our bodies reconnect to the trinity of true creation. It's like we know what we're doing, isn't it? Yeah.
Bless you, bless you, bless you. I love your humor, darling. It's so helpful. Yeah, I mean, my affirmation, my joke is I almost know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sweetheart, wow, I mean, that just fills my romantic heart right away. That was so profound, so deep, and so passionate. Yeah. You do clearly know what you're doing, my friend. I will tell you, for whatever it's worth, you absolutely know what you're doing. Yeah.
But I also want to say with that, and it's like, we didn't choose these beforehand, and we didn't choose our conversation. And,
right.
This is life to me. It's like this is it's like you saying, surrendering your heart and opening your heart every day and letting it just pour forth. It's like, this to me is life. It's like it is magical.
Yes.
Every single moment. And I say that lightly and not lightly. It's like, it just is when we allow it.
Yes, yes. Into the mystic, my friend. I'm just giving you more Van Morrison here to speak to all that. Yeah, darling. I mean, this is, to dance beneath the diamond sky with one hand waving free, silhouetted by the sea, with all memory and fate, driven deep beneath the waves. Let me forget about today until tomorrow. There's a little Dylan to throw into the conversation. It's that ecstatic dance of freedom and surrender, like we're tapping into here. Yeah, count me in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the thing as well that I'm really playing with within myself in the not knowing. Is like, we've had these ideas of what the new earth might look like, or how we desire it to feel, but it's just like, actually, what if we don't know? What if the potential and the possibility goes way beyond our ability to imagine it?
Yes, sweetheart, 100%. That's it.
That
Me.
That lifts me up. That's because we're not, that way, then we're not controlling it. We're allowing it. We're creating it, but we're not controlling it.
That's the one. That is totally it. It's my working, you're saying it perfectly, beautifully. My working definition is, if you can define it, you don't understand it. It's, my teacher Lazarus talks about something being ineffable. And I've said this, and I've experienced this in many conversations, I'm sure you have as well, where people say, oh, this thing happened to me, but I can't really put it into words. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Great.
Yes. Welcome to the club. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But of course you try anyway, because we're beings of communication and language, and we love to connect in this way. Yeah. It's utterly, it's utterly beyond our ability to imagine it. And yet, we're being called to do that very thing. And as we do that, as we step into the unknown and step into the moment and step into the sacred and create sacred space together, and bless and honor everyone on the journey with us, and see all of us as equal co-creators in this experience, then Spirit steps through us and says, now you've got it. Now you've got it. You're not in your own way any longer. Here it is.
And and that's the one thing as well for me, during these times, is just what you've said right there, which is honoring every single soul that's walking this planet, every single soul without exception. Because, you know, whether we perceive it as light and dark, and, you know, it to me, it doesn't matter, in the sense that, you know, whatever energies are wishing to be brought forth and play out, and they're going to,
Yeah.
and it's going to create upon creation, you know,
yeah.
yeah.
You know,
and I think if we can open our hearts more to really see every single being on this planet as, you know, at the core of them, and it sounds like a cliche, but at the core of them, they're love, and they are beauty, and there is light, then that to me that's for me is where transformation comes from, is when we can literally see it in every single person. No hierarchy, no superiority, no, there's just, yeah.
It's big. It's huge.
Yeah.
I agree. One of my favorite, that was gorgeous. Thank you. Jesus says, pray for your enemies because you have none.
Yeah.
You know, someone asked one of the Nisargadatta, one of the Eastern saints, he says, what do we do about the others? And he says, there are no others. Yeah. But it's huge, you know, to strive to live, you know, in the world, but not of it again, you know.
Absolutely. And that's the other piece to me as well, is like, you know, do I go through my life without judging people? Absolutely not.
Right.
You know,
right.
You know,
sure.
You know, I might channel the goddess, but I'm still human, and I still have needs of, you know, of course I do. But then there's that piece of
every day, my dear.
Absolutely. But that's, you know, but then the non-judging of self is the important piece. It's like, oh, okay, clock myself doing that.
Yes. Okay. Yes, darling.
Yeah,
no, thank you for your honesty. And I mean, I've been working with Ho'oponopono this week, which is very, very wonderful. And playing that on my little morning prayers program, you know, and hearing this Hawaiian woman who I think is narrating it, you know, saying, if I or my ancestors have done anything to offend you and your ancestors, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful. You know, those statements open our hearts. I mean, again, darling, to me, it's like your love affair with dear Aragon, you know, that's where the magic can happen, when our love for each other and our honoring of each other pulls us out of ourself and our unconsciousness, you know, and then anything is possible.
Yeah. I don't, it's funny as you say that, it's almost like I fundamentally don't believe we can do it any other way.
No,
like
no.
That, you know, love is the only thing that will crack the, you know, the armor, the tension,
all of it. Keep going. Yes, all of it. Yes.
On and on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and helps us to, you know, I mean, so to transcend ourselves and our experiences. You know, we're talking another time about inspiration and how it means I'm full of spirit, you know. And honestly, I mean, this is how I strive to live my little life every day. Bashar says, you find what you're most excited about, you do that for a while, you use that energy up, and then you move on to the next thing you're most excited about, right? Yeah. Do you live that way too? Like, where am I headed?
I do, because I think, you know, what I've recognized, you know, certainly with my own creations, and, you know, I'm terrible for starting something and then not finishing it, because I get inspired by the next thing, and you know, but I think, you know, as I understand it, in the way you know, it's like you begin something, or you come to a completion, and spirits just go, okay, next, because we just want you to create more and more.
Yeah.
More of the energy. So you know, and sometimes it is about letting things go that we've started, because actually we've, you know, I'm not the same person I was yesterday.
Amen to that.
Like, none of us are. So,
oh God. Yeah, darling. Yeah.
I can't keep up with myself, let alone, you know. So right. That's where the surrender into just being open and going, okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I'm with you, kid. I'm with you all the way. I'm 100% on this team. Believe me. You know, it's you know, the divine madness of being inspired and striving to live in integrity with our inspiration and to be true to ourselves and true to our spiritual nature and our loving nature and bring those things together, you know. I mean, again, like Lord of the Rings, you know, it's like we see these very human and very fallible, you know, protagonists be challenged by the circumstances and the darkness and the death and the all of it, and you know, keep striving over and over again to believe that good will triumph over the darkness, and then they become that good, you know. And of course, I mean, I have to say this, when in you know, Return of the King, when of course, you know, he's with his beloved and they put the crown on and then everyone is kneeling and then he kneels before the hobbits. I mean, oh my God, you know, that I just like, that's it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
True humility in the face of our values and those that are blessed to embody them and share them together. You know, for me also, same with of course Harry Potter. I mean, I read every one of those books and as well as the films, and I just thought, this is the most amazing story of my life. This is brilliant, you know.
Yeah. Where
he overcomes his own darkness by overcoming Voldemort's darkness.
Yeah.
Powerful. Well, we'll have to do this again sometime, eh?
Love to.
Thank you. Give us one more poem for the road, if you'd be so good.
Do you want to choose another number?
44.
44.
3 is a magical number as well, so we've got 3 poems here.
Light of your heart. May the rains of this year nourish and help flourish the arid desert of seeds planted and left untended. Take but a moment to turn around and smile that no dream cast aside is ever too far away to be brought back into care and the attention of your gaze. Just as a seedling pushes its way through stony and rocky ground to simply experience the light of the day, so too do you have the tenacity and capacity to realize evermore the beauty of your own being and the validity of ideas and creations, simply waiting for the tender touch of one who dares to say yes to the light of your heart.
Well, that's just perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, darling.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to read them out loud, actually, because it brings them alive. It brings them alive in me again as well, and that's a gift.
Well, I will ask you that, I'm sure, more than one more time. I promise you that. Yes. Wow, that was just sublime. That was just sublime, my friend. Thank you. Brilliant. Nikki, Sophia, Jade, King. God bless you indeed, as my friend Dr. Peebles says. Thank you. Where can people find more of your poetry and your magic and your beauty?
So that was my my project last year that came to fruition during lockdown. I did actually publish my first set of poems.
Great.
That's available on my website.
Yes.
sophiajade.uk.
It's big too, by the way. There's a lot of poems in that book, my friend.
There is.
How many pages do you have there?
129 pages.
Of 8.5 by 11.
Yeah.
Can I see the print? Wow, fantastic. That's quite an achievement. Well done, you, my friend. Well done. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find that masterpiece?
So on my website, which is sophiajade.uk.
Very good. Anything else you want to invite us to or let us know about?
No, just connect. You know, if people wish to connect, I'm on, all the social media platforms. That's not true. I'm not on TikTok.
Me either. Me either.
I-
There you go. Good. We avoided that one.
Facebook and Instagram, yes.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah.
Great. Well, I will upload this, my dear, and I will send it to you, and I will put it on my YouTube. And I hope this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship, Nikki.
Very much so.
Thank you. Thank you.
So. Thank you.
Pleasure. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. You've made my day, darling. No kidding, and for real. You lit me up. Thank you.
Mine too.
Good. Good. All right. Well, we'll talk again soon, sweetheart. Have a wonderful day, and my best to my new friend Aragon. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. You too. You too. Bye for now.